for a bird's eye view of what's going on in Greece, we're joined now by John O'Connell. He's a friend of the program, a friend of the station. He frequently guest hosts with me here on the street. He's not in Athens, as we said. He's actually on the island of Santorini, but he is in Greece. John, it's great that you've been able to make some time for us today. What are you seeing and what are you hearing in Greece today?
Oh, thanks for having me, Paul. It's a lot of fun. You know, the mood here, Santorini is a very populous tourist neighborhood, an island. It's not far from Athens. We were in Athens a couple of days ago. The tourists are very calm and collected. It's pretty orderly. We did see a lot of people lining up at the ATMs yesterday. Most of the restaurants, we're at a restaurant right now actually having lunch. Restaurants would prefer to deal in cash, obviously. I did go into a bookstore and buy a book earlier today. They did reluctantly take our Visa card, but they would have preferred cash. If you were to make a larger purchase, they definitely would want to have used a direct bank transfer. Speaking to the local people that work here, they're of the attitude they don't have a lot to lose here. Speaking to a young waiter who's from Athens, he said, "Look, the old people want to vote for Europe because they have a lot to lose. They have their pensions, but the younger population that live in the cities and whatnot, the unemployment rates are very high, and they don't really see they're going to lose very much. They're already poor, they're already unemployed, and their attitude is it's going to be tough, but it's already tough. And so why not just move on, go back to the drachma? Tourists will probably still bring euro. It'll probably be a dual currency system, and they're okay with that. And their attitude is, in 5 or 10 years, I'll be better off than what I am right now. They believe there's a lot of misinformation. They believe that they're being pressured by other European countries, particularly Germany, that are holding them to very, very difficult terms. Their attitude is, it's not.
I'm going to let Mike Newton in with a question.
Sure.
John, I would assume that you had planned this trip before this announcement with the banks being closed. And as tourism is such a big part of the Greek economy, how is this going to affect travel to Greece? And how, on a personal basis, has this changed your plans with how you're conducting your spending while you're there?
Well, we're certainly going to preserve our cash as much as possible. We said to the restaurant today, listen, if you can't take Visa, then we can't eat here. It's your problem, not our problem. And, you know, my sense is that it's going to become a serious problem because restaurants are going to, and people are going to run out of money to purchase food. Unless they solve this problem fairly quickly, which I would imagine they will, restaurants will stop being able to purchase food. And that eventually leads to a situation where restaurants can't serve people because the people that are supplying the restaurants won't be able to provide the produce suppliers with cash to pay for their groceries. So the market system will start to work here at some point. They'll either have to create their own currency or they're going to have to come up with some kind of deal. But my attitude or my experience so far has been that the Greek people are prepared, whatever the polls may say, the young population is going to vote to leave the euro and deal with the problems longer term.
How are people reacting, John, to not being able to get to the bank to access their funds? We understand the banks are going to be closed for about a week now until the vote is held. How are they reacting to the banks being closed and the capital controls that are being imposed?
I think it's going to definitely have a tremendous impact on the tourism industry. If you're a tourist, we're already here. We anticipate this could happen, so I actually brought enough euro to get me through the vacation if I should need it. But I think you're going to see a big drop-off in tourism because people aren't going to want to come here. People are going to worry that if they get in here and they do come with a lot of euro, are they going to be able to leave with those euros? That's part of the capital control situation. My sense is it's going to have a dramatic impact on the Greek economy at some point. My guess is a lot of people that live here are actually underestimating the impact of how bad it actually could get in the short term.
John, thanks.
There have been some people that have been worried that the military may actually get involved. I was on the show 2 years ago and thought the military at one point could get involved, and it wouldn't surprise me. There are some people in Greece that have raised the whole prospect of potential civil war because there's two very distinct factions out here. We hear buses driving by, making public announcements. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but I'm sure they're politically motivated comments.
John, it's been great to speak to you on the ground in Greece. Thanks very much. Have a good day.
My Take care, Paul.
That's John O'Connell. He's Chief Executive Officer of Davis Rea. He joined us from Santorini, Greece, speaking about the economic crisis and what he's hearing on